Welcome to Devotion Through Coloring. I'm Kathy, and this is part 3, hopefully the final part. I plan to finish this today of coloring the manger scene. So let's get started. But first, let's have a prayer. Dear Lord, please watch over and bless all those watching this video, and please bless this video. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I think I will probably work on the sheet first. I should have got these out. Okay, I'm just going to give him a little bit of French gray around him, and then maybe a pink for his ears. I always like to do pink for the ears. I'm going to go with a nectar pink for the ear. I'll just go ahead and get that real quick. Okay, and then I'm just gonna, let's see, darker one. Would go right there, right there. So it's been a pretty busy week. We went to the doctor yesterday for my son. Just having some tests, so no information about what he might have, just that the doctor thinks that the cough and the fever are separate, different causes. So we shall see what happens there. What else has happened? Had our church Bible study Christmas party on Tuesday, plus I have another Bible study that I have on Tuesday, and I kind of been alternating with them a little bit when I can go. Oops, I missed his tail. In like that, but so I had both of them on Tuesday afternoon. So it was a busy afternoon. And then they had their Christmas party. The other one had a Christmas party too, so sorry if this is shaking. Try not to get too vigorous. We decided to try out in the living room instead of in the kitchen because the refrigerator and the heater are too noisy. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of light on his head, and that's it. I don't know if that looks very sheep-like, but that's how I'm going to do it. Okay. So now I think I'll do the palm trees real quick. I don't know how dark a green palm trees are, but mine are going to be on the French grays I had, like, what's this one? 10%, 30%, and 90% if you want to do that. Do what you want to do. It's your coloring book. So let's see, what else so that was Tuesday. What happened Monday? Seems like it's just been nothing but busy lately. There's always something to do. I had to look through the video when we uploaded, before we uploaded it, make sure there wasn't anything that we need to do. It was fine. For the channel we have affiliate links, so if you want to use these same supplies that I'm using, you can click on the link and I will get a commission on them if you purchase from the link. So that would be nice, but you don't have to. It would be very appreciated though. Gosh, I had a couple other things that I told you about the horses last episode, and I forgot to say what the other horse, what his name was. He was a Shetland pony, and he had a glass eye, and he was pretty old when we got him. I think he was 10, 11, something like that when we got him, and you know, he passed away. I don't remember how old he was, but he just got old, and I'm pretty sure he passed away. I'll have to ask one of my brothers or sisters or my mom. Sometime. I don't do two colors on that. These leaves aren't that big. Yeah, I might only use these two colors, which I'm using Spring Green. I was pretty sure of that one. Kelly Green. So I also have dark green in my hand, but I don't think I'm going to use them. Well, maybe I'll make the line down the center. Maybe I'll outline it a little more with the dark green. I don't know. We'll see. Then what was the other thing I thought of? Oh, when I said about the garden, I was talking about the garden. I was listening to it and I totally forgot tomatoes. I'm like, how can I forget tomatoes? I love tomatoes. I always liked tomatoes. We had tomatoes and we also had leaf lettuce. So, yeah, those are two things that I forgot about when I was trying to think of all the vegetables that we raised. And I know my mom tried to do asparagus, but I think she had some. But usually the septic tank guy, he would run over it. So she tried a couple different times and he always ran over it. I think she just put it in a bad location. But it was very interesting growing up on the farm. I started to tell you about one year when we had a really bad storm. I did tell you a little bit about it, where my mom made stew on our Franklin stove. We got, I believe it was 20 inches of snow that time, and that's the most snow I remember ever getting. And so we had some evergreen trees, and they were, I think they were kind of behind my bedroom, basically, behind my bedroom. I mean, I couldn't look out the window at them, so I only had 2 windows in my bedroom, and they looked out towards the other side of the property. So let me do this real quick. Just darken it. I'm not sure what brown I'm going to use here. But anyway, the snowbank, we had a really huge snowbank. It went up to the top of the evergreen trees. I mean, that's just that, I thought that was the coolest thing. I could walk up the snowbank and touch the top of the evergreen tree. So yeah, that thrilled me as a kid. I think I was, I don't know, about 12, 14 maybe, somewhere around in there. Might have been 13. Trying to think. I think all the kids were, so my youngest brother, he would have been a baby, I think, at the time. And then, like I said, our power went out. We moved all our mattresses, or we were gonna move our mattresses to the living room, and then a neighbor called and offered to come get us, because they only lived down the road a little ways, like a half a mile, a little bit more than a half a mile. And they had power. Plus they had, yeah, they had, I think they still had power. Pretty sure they did. Plus they had fireplace also, and they had kerosene lamps, and I think we did have that too. We did have a kerosene lamp. But we were just getting ready to pull our beds out of the bedroom, our mattresses, because we were gonna all sleep in the living room where it was by the fireplace. And the neighbor called and was gonna come get everybody and take them back to their house so we could spend the night, because they knew that we had the baby and the little kids, because my sister and brother, or my 2 sisters, were also pretty young yet. My brother's, he's like a year and a half younger than me, my other brother. So we were older and we could deal with it, but the little kids, you know, that would have been harder on them. My brother and I thought it was fun. We did put up blankets to hold the heat into the living room and kitchen area, so that, you know, it'd be trapped and it wouldn't get quite so cold. And Dad would go out, or Mom, or I think maybe even my brother went out one time and scraped the snow off the picture window, and in a bucket, put it in a bucket and brought it out, or into the house, and I was piling it up in the bathtub so that we would have water. We could just melt the snow for water to like flush the toilet or drink or whatever we needed. We'd have water, because, you know, the power was out, so our water pump wasn't working. So yeah, that was an adventure, but we played games most of the day, board games, and it was pretty fun. And then when our neighbor did come to get us, he was a farmer, so he had a tractor that he was coming to get us in. Came and got my mom and my brother, my youngest brother, and my sisters. Dad was going to stay at the house to keep the fire going, keep the pipes from freezing, and also to be there to take care of the animals in the morning, because we had the cows and the chickens and the horses. I don't know I know they shut the chickens in the chicken coop, so they would be okay. Might have turned on, well, we wouldn't have power, so they didn't have the heat lamp. I don't know what they did with, I don't remember the cows or horses at that time. But anyway, it was interesting. And I didn't do the dark. Oh well, that works. Okay, so I got my green done on the leaves. Now I need to do that branch. I think it was more darker color. Maybe I'm gonna go with light umber, chocolate, and dark umber. I don't know that I'll use all three of them, but yeah, maybe that's too dark. Yeah. What color's this? Sepia. That's darker. Yeah, that's darker. I don't want that. Maybe the sandbar brown. Okay, so let's alter that. Let's put the dark umber back. And we'll do sandbar brown, light umber, chocolate. That'll work. These are small areas, so I really need sharp pencils. So let's see. Okay, so I interrupted myself, so now I don't know what I was talking about. Anyway, he came and got us. Okay, so the farmer neighbor, he came and got us. Like I said, they lived about a half a mile away, and we got, I would say, most of the way there, and the tractor slid off. I mean, you couldn't see your hand pretty much in front of your face most of the time, because that's how bad the snow was. But so it's not surprising that he ran off the road. But what was I going to say? But anyway, we were most of the way there, so he had to, luckily we were just in front of some other neighbor's house. And so he went in to that house, and it was actually our neighbors right next door. I think it was her mom's house, and they happened to be down, my neighbors happened to be down at her mom's house, because they lived in a trailer house. Their house was a trailer house right next to ours. And I don't know if they had a stove at that time. I know they did later, but I don't know if they had a stove at that time. So so he had driven his tractor down there to take their family down to his mother-in-law's, and so he had to get his tractor and pull our other neighbor's tractor out. And then I think before they did that, he took us, my brother and I, in the tractor and took us back to the other neighbor's house so that, you know, we wouldn't have to sit there and wait and we could go to bed because it was getting late. It was, I don't know, probably 9 or 10 o'clock by that point. So anyway, it was so interesting to live through that snowstorm. I had never seen one so bad. We'd had a lot of snow at different times, but not that much. So, let's see. And I don't think we've had that much since either. There was one time before my kids were born, there was one time, I don't think the oldest was born yet. I don't think. No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't. But they had to, my husband had to go across the street to the neighbor lady's house because our phone was kind of glitchy at that time, and it just really glitched out and it wouldn't call out, I think from the moisture or something. I don't know. Anyway, so he had to walk across the street, and this is all it was across the street. Oops, I'm shaking the table. He had to walk across the street and it was up to his knees. So yeah, that was pretty deep. If we've had it that deep since, we haven't really had to go anywhere. So, well, this might be a little darker than palm trees, but then it's nighttime too, so maybe they would look a little darker at nighttime. That's what I'm gonna say. It's nighttime, and so it's a little darker. Let's see, now I want to start the buildings. I need maybe that color. Do I want I'm thinking of doing sand goldenrod and henna. Let me see what that looks like. Oops. Sand, goldenrod. I'm not sure. That might be too dark. Well, the henna would be okay for some of the roofs, but I think otherwise that's too dark. Sand, goldenrod. That's probably darker. Maybe beige sienna, which is I can't read them upside down. That one. try this again. Sand. And goldenrod. I don't know. That's not bad. I wasn't sure how that would look, but if you blend them all three together, I think I'm going to go with it. So it's sand, goldenrod, and beige sienna. Tried to say goldenrod and beige at the same time. So I know they wouldn't quite be all the same color, but I'm gonna kind of do that, I think. What else can I talk about? Okay, so what else can I tell you about growing up on the farm? That's kind of, you know, I briefly mentioned the pigs last time. My mom purchased the pig, I think. No, we got them, I was going to say from a neighbor. Well, we might have. I don't know. I know there was a couple things about different pigs in a couple different places, but I don't know what, when, how, where, what happened. Anyway, we had these pigs. The sow had piglets. And, oh, I know what it was. Our neighbor, they did have pigs, and they had, I don't know if it was just one litter, but they had some piglets that weren't doing so good. And so our neighbors sold the piglets to my mom, and so we were bottle feeding them. And this was in the early spring. early summer, maybe early summer, not spring, because it was warm. I remember going outside. I don't think I put a coat or anything on in the middle of the night to help feed the piglets, because you had to feed them like every 2 hours or something like that. And so we were contacted, my mom was contacted by a rodeo clown. He wanted to buy one of the piglets because he wanted to use a piglet in his rodeo act. So that was pretty interesting to have one of our piglets going to a rodeo clown. And I remember Mom sold him for $10. I don't know how much she bought him for, but she sold him for $10. So anyway, that was interesting. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you about when we lived on the farm, we were like, I want to say about a half a mile as the crow flies from the river. That would be the South Platte River. And we like to go down there and just mess around down by the river. We like to go down there and mess around down by the river. And sometimes we, if the water was warm enough and the air was warm enough, we'd go take our swimsuits, put our swimsuits on, then put our shorts on over top of it and go swimming. So that was fun. Just when we felt like it, we'd go down to the river and go swimming. Of course, it wasn't very deep, and we didn't go out very far into the current because we knew that it could drop off suddenly. And so we just stayed kind of near the bank and just kind of sat down in the water so you'd be cool. So that was fun. But yeah, it could be very dangerous if you weren't careful. You could get out in the middle of the stream and we never went when we knew that there had been a lot of rain. We never went down there because that would mean the current might be more swift and the river might be higher and there might be lower spots where we're not expecting them. And we got to know this one area really good. So we were really familiar with it. That was I totally missed this one. I didn't get the windows or anything. That was really fun. What else? Growing up, I went to parochial school. Our church had it's not, I don't go to the same church anymore, but they still have the school. I go to the sister church. It's just more to our family's liking and stuff, so. But anyway, I was in a very small class. I started at the parochial school. I actually went to public school the first 3 years, kindergarten, first and second. So from 3rd grade on, I was in parochial school. And I really, really loved going to school there. It was, I think think it was helpful to me because I had a little more one-on-one, because our class, there were only, at the most, there were 5 kids, and that was when I first started. I think there were 5 kids. 1 boy and the rest were girls, 4 girls. So, and then we ended up with 1 boy and 4 girls when I graduated from 8th grade. So that's kind of funny coincidence, but that's how it happened. And the rest of the time it was 4 girls. I don't think we ever had more than that. Some would leave, but somebody else would come, and we'd still end up with 4 girls. So might have had 5 girls at one time, or 6 girls, but if we did, I'm not sure. But anyway, that was fun going to school. We got to do a lot of things. In 7th and 8th grade, I actually had the same teacher for like 5 different years, not all consecutive. 3rd, 4th, 5th, I had the same teacher. He taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and he was also the principal of the school at the time. And then 6th, I had a different teacher, and 7th and 8th grade, I had the teacher that I had in 3rd, 4th, and 5th, so he knew me well. He knew all of us well, because he had us for quite some time. So anyway, forgot where I was going with that. Oh, we got to do a lot of special things that classes before didn't. We managed to, how we did this, I don't know, but we managed to convince our teacher that we wanted to go on field trips. So we convinced him. He made us work for it. He did. He made us work for it. I think he thought it was a good idea to do the field trips, but he wanted us to give him reasons why we should all go on the field trip. So we can't, I don't remember what they were. That was a long time ago. But we came up with a list of reasons to go on these field trips. And the first one, some of them he had already arranged. But the first one that we wanted to do is we wanted to go up to a forest in northern Nebraska. It's Halsey National Forest. And so we convinced him that it would be a good idea to go, and he actually took us. He made it, oops, that broke off. It keeps breaking off, what the heck? Well, I'm not going to sharpen it anymore. Just have to get by with it as it is. He actually took us to, first we went to one, oh, what do I want to say? One church. He made it a part of checking out different churches that were connected to ours. So sister churches in different locations. He also took us to the National Forest, Halsey National Forest, and that's where we actually had lunch that day. So we went to 2 different churches, went and had lunch at the forest, I think. Then we went to another church, and then we took a tour at the one of the park rangers gave us a tour, took us up into the one of the towers where they would look out for the fires and stuff. So that was interesting. I'm gonna do light sky blue light, I should say, and light cerulean blue. And this one here. My pencils are flaking. So that was really fun. And then another time we took a trip to Lincoln, Nebraska. We went to a museum. We went to the state capitol building and got a tour of that and met some of the senators and learned about, we were learning about the government, how it functioned, our state government, and how it functioned and stuff. So we got to learn a lot about that. And then they also had some fun activities. They took us shopping one night and, you know, that kind of stuff. Now I'm going in with lemon yellow. I'm just going to color in the windows before I get much more done, because these whites are glaring at me. There might not have been any lights on at the time, but I'm going to say it was light. Not sure what to color that. Maybe I'll make that like stained glass or something. Crimson red. I'm going to go crimson red there, because that bugs me sitting there. And then I want a dark blue. Whoops, I just stopped. China blue. And then I'm gonna do canary yellow. Okay. I'm not sure, I think I should probably make that dark colored. I'm just gonna do black there. Like that's an open place, but it's dark. Okay, so where else did we go? We went to, of course, they took us different places to eat, which I don't remember. Only one I remember was Valentino's. It's a pizza place. and I'd never been there, and now, well, since then they've had one here and then it closed, so I don't think it's opened anymore. Anyway, I'll do blue on this roof. And then let's do administrative. Get another red, which it'll have to be because my other red is dark red is shot. It'll have to be crimson, carmine red. Can't focus. Let's see. Oh no, I'm really having problems with my pencils. This usually works the best for them, but having problems for them today. Probably I need to empty that maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so what else did we do? We saw the Capitol building, the museum. We went to a planetarium show, so it had a little movie type thing about the stars and everything. And I think we had also studied that earlier in the year, so now I got one more roof. What color am I going to do it in? Let's do it in browns. I'll just do it in my browns that I have here. Sandbar brown, light umber, chocolate. So then the next year we went to Denver, and our class was a little bit bigger because the other class, which was 3 people, 2 girls and a boy, yeah, they had graduated, of course, and were in high school or junior high, I guess it would be. And so it was a class of 20, and then at that time I think there was 4 of us. I don't know when we went to Colorado. Well, yeah, he would have had to been there by then. I don't think we started out the year with him, but there was a boy that came and joined our class. So yeah, I think he must have, I don't know if he went with us. I would assume everybody went, but I don't remember. So there's that. Let's see, and I'm going to use this color. Well, I think I'm going to use the same colors for the sand dunes. I'm just going to make one color and then just random. Another color. So when we went to Denver, which again we had to convince him, we had to give him reasons. We went to the botanical gardens in Denver. We went, I think I'm going to use the color here too, because those two colors are the same. Or it would, anyway, I'm going to use this color. That doesn't make sense, but yeah. Anyway, so we went there. We went to a wax museum, which was kind of fun. I'd never been to a wax museum, so that was interesting. I'm making these darker because I figure they're off at a distance, so they might be a little bit darker. Oh, that's chocolate. So this one, I think. Yeah. So what else? What else did we do? We went to the zoo in Denver, the Denver Zoo. We did not do that in Lincoln. We were gonna go to the Lincoln Zoo, but they were closed for the time, or I don't know. Something happened to keep us from going, so and I'll do this one with chocolate. So what else did we do there? I know there was probably other stuff. Oh, I know when we were in Lincoln, we went to the airport too. That was the first actual thing we did. When we got there, we went to the airport and got to go up into the control tower and see how the what are they called? Control guys. The ground people, how they did it. Took care of things. I think we also got to go back behind where they sort the luggage to go to whatever plane that needs to go to and stuff like that. We got to see that. So that was really interesting. So the zoo and the planetarium. The planetarium was, I wanted to go to that the most because I really liked plants and flowers, and still do. Unfortunately, I don't have the green thumb I had back then. Or maybe it's just my location and I don't have any good windows that face the south. Because I just haven't had any luck growing anything in my house. I've done a garden, but there's been times where I've had to not have a garden. Is that the same color? No, that's chocolate. I don't know. So anyway, so I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was cool to go to the, let's go backwards this time. I thought it was cool to go to the wax museum. I think that's, oh, and then we went to my cousin. Her husband was a pastor, and so we went to the church there, which was a sister church to the same synod as the church that I went to at the time, so that was cool. We got to tour that church, and actually as a family, which my mom went with us. She was one of the chaperones. I know there was one other family whose parents went, but I can't think who all was chaperones that time. And the time before, it was just our principal and his wife went. But then we only had 7 kids that time, or 8 kids. I think we had 4 girls in my class, and then the 2 and 3, so that's 7. So I don't, unless I'm missing somebody, which hopefully I'm not. But anyway, those were really fun field trips that we did for school. I always tell that story, and whoever I'm telling it to will say, well, we didn't get to go on a field trip. Well, that's because we were a parochial school, and our principal took advantage of that. I don't know if they still do that in the classes. I just have no idea if they're doing that still or not, but I thought that was really fun to be able to go do something a little different that you don't normally get to do in school. So, but then I know there are some people that have, okay. Oh no, I worked myself into a corner. I'm gonna have to duplicate something. Oh well, let's go with the chocolate. I know there are some schools that not only go to like local field trips within driving distance, but they go overseas, so that would be cool to be able to do that. But yeah, I've always wanted to travel different places overseas, but that's never happened, and I don't know if it ever will. Let's put this chocolate over here so I don't get, let's do this one here. And then this one here. Okay, got all that done up. Do the star and the sky and the ground, and we're done. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to take sand and cream and ginger root. And in the areas that are like around the sheep, let's see, I want to do cream first. In the area where the sheep is, I'm going to lay down and just color out a little bit. Just around stuff, I'm just going to color real quickly around, because I'm going to take my chalk pastels and cover a bigger area, because there's no way I could color that. I would use up my pencils. I don't want to do that. Go out a little bit bit further with the sand. Excuse me. So then around here, up here, just around the edges, and I knew I would have to do that, like around baby Jesus and stuff. This I will color all in. Oopsies. That glue is smearing. Okay. Oops. Now go back with the sand and then going around it. Trying to be kind of big with it. Going out a little ways yet. Okay, so anyway, what else? Oh, I started to say, later that summer, that was like in April or May, we also went out to see the Red Rock Theater, so that was cool. We got to see that. I've actually been there a few times since then. They've had concerts out there, but I've never been to a concert out there. Whenever I go out there, there's nothing going on. So, anyway, I might just leave it at that. Not use the ginger root, just the sand and the cream. I might take and do the ginger root over the little circles. But anyway, and then we went shopping in Denver too. And it took us to a theater, or to a mall. That's what I'm trying to think of, not a theater. That would have been cool to go to the theater too. You know, I've gone to the local theater productions, some of them, here and there, oddly spaced, but nothing like it was a major production, except when my son was 2, we did take him to Omaha for a Blues Clues birthday, because it was also his birthday that day. That was a lot of money that we spent, and he doesn't remember it, and we both kind of wish we could get that back. So yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. Just gonna color the dots, the circles, ginger root. But it was so funny because they said, we told them that it was his birthday, so they announced that it was his birthday when they were celebrating Blue's birthday, so that was really cool. And because my cousin lived there with her husband, my family went there later this summer after we'd been there in like April, into April, beginning of May. So that was really fun. And actually my brother was in the class that was just behind me, so he was in 7th grade and I was in the 8th grade, and so he was on the trip too, but that was okay. It was fun. My mom went with us. I thought that was cool that my mom went. She didn't like to drive in Denver though, so one of the other parents, like a husband and wife team, the husband drove our car while the wife drove their car. We had like, I don't know, at least 3 carloads of kids. Okay, now I'm going to take this chalk pastel, and it doesn't have a, it was given to me, and it doesn't have a brand name on it, so I can't tell you a brand unless my husband can figure it out, which he's really good at doing that. But I'm just going to take and shave this chalk onto this paper. I think I don't want to get too much more right now. And then I'm going to take one of these cosmetic squares, cotton cosmetic squares, and this is usually what I use. Although you can use a Q-tip too, and that works perfectly fine. And this isn't going to be as dark as I expected it to. Maybe I need the darker color. Do a little bit of the darker color and see how that looks. Okay. Maybe that's gonna work better. And for small areas, I will take a Q-tip like this. I mean, I won't go up there, but I'll just take my pencils and go up there. This also helps rub it in a little easier because you have something a little more firm. It just depends on how dark you want your chalk to be. Some people I know don't like to handle chalk. That's not my favorite thing to touch. But it doesn't bother me like some people. So that's fine. And I'm just kind of swirling it, and I always do that. I just kind of swirl it in because you don't want it to quite be the same color all over the place. And I was hoping that would disappear more, but it's not disappearing. Maybe I can do shadows there. Let me do some shadow there. Oh, I can definitely tell the difference. I don't know if you can on camera, but I can definitely, oops, see the difference there. And we got the sunlight coming in on me. And some of the chalk went off the coloring book. I'll have to take a cloth later and wipe that off. Okay, let's go with this sand color. And then I'll just kind of go lightly over it instead of using the chalk pastel over that. I think I need a little bit, runaway pencil. I need a little bit more over here, and a little bit more over here. Okay, I am really going to have a mess to wipe up later. Okay, I got that one done. Now for the sky. As you can see, I tried out a little bit right there, just to see what it would look like. And I'm definitely going to use that. I wonder if I need to do the stars first. I think I will do the stars first. So I was thinking about using my glitter gel pen. Hopefully they don't get unglittery. This is my Lolly's gel pen. And there'll be a link for that. Getting this star over in the corner here. Can kind of see him peeking out, but you can't see all of him. I actually got these gel pens, I believe, a little over a year ago. It was during a sale. I don't know if it was the Thanksgiving one or if it was a sale that was going on during Black Friday or Cyber Monday, one or the other. It might have been Cyber Monday actually. We don't always do anything during that, but then it might have been after taxes too. They might have had a sale then on them, so I don't know. But I've had them a little over a year or almost a year, whichever. I really like these. I really like to use gel pens. I don't always use just glitter gel pens in my work. I will use white ones and just any other colors that I have. I have a whole set. The lid came off, but this is the set that I have, the 70 piece. So I really like using those, and I use them a lot in my colorings, on my coloring pages. They work great in my Bible. They don't bleed through. They worked pretty good on here. You can see a little ghosting there. So I used gel pen here. But you can see a little ghosting, but it didn't really bleed through. And I used gel pen on here. Again, a little ghosting, but no bleed through. So even on these thin pages, I didn't have to worry about it. I felt like I was wobbling. I needed to turn it. It was loosening up. Notice gel pens do that often, at least the ones I've had. I had a Manger pens, gel pens, and I've had these Lollies. I've had Sargent Arts. I think that's it for the ones that I've had. My Sargent Arts are pretty much gone. I used those all up. And my Manger pens are pretty much gone. I used those all up. Oh wait, I want to do the star too. I'm just going to do it all in gold. Alright, the stars are done. I should probably put the shadows down real quick before I forget about them. I'm just going to do a little bit of cool gray. And just a little bit with Mary too, just so I don't look weird. And a little bit with the lamb. That kind of disguises that. You won't ever know it was there. Unless you watch the video. Okay, now let's do this. And I think around the trees, purples. These darker purples, although I was thinking maybe black raspberry. Which one's black raspberry? Black cherry. Oh, that one would be good too. And black raspberry. These two pencils for around the building, around the stars, around the trees. I'll do that first. I want a lighter color. Black cherry is the lighter of those two. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with these two. I'm not sure what else I would use. So I'm just around the edges going to put these down just a little bit. This isn't any problem. The side of the of the stable isn't any problem, but I'll just go with it. I was trying to shoot for keeping this under an hour, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it because I think I already passed an hour. So I'm not sure what else I was going to say. What can I ask you so you can comment in the say something in the comments below? What do you want for Christmas? That's a good one. What do you want for Christmas? What's your Christmas wish? I mostly want to be able to go to church with my family. I think we might be able to. My son's temperature's kind of stabilized a little bit. Not at a normal temperature, but it's a stable temperature, so we're gonna give it a try. I don't know if we'll all be able to go Christmas Day, but the Christmas Eve one is really, the service is really good. And I think we went Christmas Day too last year, because I was surprised there were as many people there as there were. I was expecting it to be just about us and the pastor's family, and maybe that's about it, but there were a few other people. I was kind of surprised. And I don't think we had bad weather. I think we did get a little bit of snow that time, but so what else can I talk about? There I go again. As you can, I don't know if you could hear that, but my son is still coughing. He just coughed. So, probably needs to lay down. That tends to help him, not always, but it can help him if he stays laid down. The only thing is, you can't lay down all your life. And I wouldn't want to have to lay down all the time. That would be really boring. So, what else can I talk about? I'm so appreciative to everyone who has subscribed and to those who have watched as well, because without you I wouldn't be doing anything. I would be doing this by myself, for myself. So we are almost done. I just want to color around these trees. then finish around the building and go around the star real quick. And then I'm gonna do the chalk pastel, and then we're done. I'm gonna call it good. And if I remember, I kind of want to take, I've never done this, but this is a good area down here. I kind of want to take a pen or a pencil or something and sign my name to it. Whenever I think of doing that, I either forget it or there's no room to put a signature. I can't find a place to put a signature. If I was more creative, I'd probably find some, but that's not, I'm not going to color all that in. I'm just going to go out a little ways here. My wrist sometimes gets to hurting, and this is kind of an awkward position. But I want to color it in circles, not straight up and down. Don't want to forget this corner either. One thing to help keep your pencil sharpened, when I was first learning to color, and you might already know this, I might not be telling you something new, but if I am, then I'm glad that I was able to give somebody a tip that they hadn't heard before. But you rotate your pencil, it helps keep your pencil a little sharpened, and you won't have to, if you color on the side like I'm doing, you won't have to sharpen it as often. So I thought that was a good tip. Not one that I made up, it was one I heard, so I'm just spreading the word. I'm not taking credit for the tip. As much as I'm coloring here, maybe I might as well color the whole thing. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go around and just kind of outline it, darken it a little bit, just on the edges, to make it stand out more. I don't know if you heard that. That was our cat Gwen. That's the black one that has the weight problem. We have increased her food, but it hasn't helped her with her cravings. She's still trying to get to other cats' food. My son feeds the boy cat Chewy in his room, and we feed the other girl cat Trixie, the mom of Chewy. We feed her in our room, and we'll put it down and forget that it's down and open the door or walk away, and Gwen will get an extra meal. So far it's not working very well. I wish we could figure out a better way to do it, but so far we have not. We do have food for them when we go to bed at night. Gwen is in the living room, and I leave my son's bedroom door open so that the cats can go in with him. That would be Chewy and Gwen. And Trixie is in our bedroom because Chewy and Trixie kind of tear around sometimes. They get to playing, and we don't want the cats tearing around in the middle of the night. And they just don't do that with Gwen very often. Chewy and Gwen, Chewy and Gwen don't do that very often. So Okay. I might have to take a gel pen or something, or a black pencil, and darken that tip, because it just kind of disappeared with outlining this. They're expecting a package today. It's supposed to be delivered today. It's not for us, it's for a neighbor. But we're expecting a package, but I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's going to be delivered because it's supposed to come through the postal system. They've already delivered the mail. So I don't know. It still should get here before Christmas, though. That's when I think that's the soonest she needs it, so. I know that would be lighter there, but I'll just go ahead and go with that instead of trying to figure it out. Another good thing to do in this is where I kind of went over the lines, it disguises the green. It's hiding my mistakes. Sure. Surprised I didn't need to do that sooner. And again, this is black raspberry if somebody wants to imitate this. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm not making any promises. I don't expect you to imitate it, but if you wanted to, you know what color I'm using. I do not mind at all when somebody, I think that's, I'm flattered when somebody wants to copy what I've done or imitate what I've done. And they can put their own flair on it too. In fact, I encourage that. You put your own personality into it if you have some other idea. Maybe I kind of inspire you to do what I'm doing, and then, oh, this would be really cool too. That would be awesome. Okay. And I have over here. Okay, then we'll go over here. I gotta turn this a little bit because this is hurting my wrist. Now I can put it back where it kind of was. Okay, I'm going to wait and do the top part. There it is. Can't find my little scraper thing. I don't know if that's what it's called. X-Acto knife. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
I don't want to do too big an area because I'm not sure how this is going to work. Go down here a little bit. I wasn't going to do this, but it looks pretty. Blending the pencils in with the... Kind of discovered something by accident. And these aren't too bad. You can kind of get down in there. It's actually kind of the color I was trying to come up with. Down in there, so okay, let's add some more. I know I still have some there, but I want to make it darker if I can. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it kind of dimmed my stars. I might have to go over my stars later after I'm all done here. Just a little bit more. Down over in here. I'm gonna try. Yeah, I like how that looks. Kind of fills in the white. I knew I needed another color, but like I said, Q-tips work really good for this. Not to get it on the torch. We don't want a purple torch. Okay. Let's get back with my finger and I kind of wrap the cotton around it. Trying to get in all the areas around the star without getting the star itself purple. That's not easy. Trying to use kind of the side of it so it's more firm. If it's a little bit lighter, I think around the, I'm sticking to the chair. If it's a little bit lighter to around the star, I don't think that will hurt anything. I think that will just make it look like the star's brighter and so the background's not as dark there. I think I need a trash can. Thank you.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Oh, there's still some over here. I can kind of sweep it over there. Dingied my star just a little bit. I'll go over it and brighten it up. I know this is shaking a lot. I'm trying not to, but it does take a little effort to get it down into the page. And like I said, I made a mess. I will take a cloth later and wipe that up before we put this away. I'm not sure if I'm done with that. No, I'm not. I just saw another area that needs just a little bit more color. I think I like how that came out. Just take my gold and refresh this a little bit. Hope that brightens it. Yeah, that's gonna brighten it. So maybe I should have gone ahead and put the chalk down. I don't know. So I had to go back and brighten it anyway. then maybe it would have been too dark. I don't know. I think it's mostly the sparkle that just kind of got hidden. Maybe one of the cats was getting into the trash can. Okay. I think I'm going to take this black . And I think we're done. So with that, we will go ahead and say a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for being with us as we color this. Thank you for those who watched, and help them to grow in your faith. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and we will see you in the next video. Bye everyone.